Right, 29 May 2024. And as promised in the morning, I'm back today. And this evening is going to be the first of many, many evenings as we move towards August. And you see that today I'm alone. I'm not with the rest of the people. This is because there are currently processes behind the scenes that are taking place. And I have been fortunate enough to be asked to have our platform hosting most of the discussions that are going to take place, but these are also going to be taking place in many other places. So there are many other people who are going to be involved in what is going to be happening between now and approximately 17 to 19 August 2024, when the SADC presidents are going to be in Zimbabwe. As I've been saying over the past few weeks, there's going to be demonstrations or protests. And these protests are going to take place when the SADC presidents, so the presidents of all the SADC countries, are in Zimbabwe, when it is safer for all the people and more comfortable and most likely less dangerous for people to protest against the government of Mnangagwa. And the reason why there's a protest is, you saw what Nelson Chamisa said yesterday. Chamisa came out and said the election that was held did not produce a valid result. There is a need to produce or to do something different before 2028, and there's no going to be waiting for 2028. So what has been happening is that churches, movements, political leaders have been meeting behind the scenes. And as you know, that I also have a platform, so many people have been coming to me to get to hear what I think. And eventually, I'm currently giving you this coordination until the interim structure is up. Tomorrow, you're going to see more people who are going to come here. There are meetings being held, and there's also communication that is going out. So that communication is going out. It's going to go out tomorrow to various embassies. It's going to go out to various international organizations, and it's going to go out to particular institutions, for example, the EU, the AU, Commonwealth, and so forth. So there is communication which is going out, and these things take time. The structures are being set up, and you're going to see the interim leaders. So I'm going to help you with an understanding of what is going to go on. But what you should understand is that eventually, between the 17th and the 19th of August, there's going to be the biggest protest you've ever seen, which is all inclusive. So everyone is going to be included in this protest. It's not going to be partisan. It's for all Zimbabweans. And you're going to see everyone involved, everyone who is in the opposition, everyone who's in the churches, every Zimbabwean wants the country to work. And you're going to see this protest taking place during the time when the SADC summit is going to be held in Zimbabwe. So as I said, the objective of the protest is for fresh elections, for Mnangagwa to step down, and for fresh elections to be held. So you see that the language I use is going to be different from the language that is going to be used by people who come, because myself, I've got my certain way of expressing this. But obviously, we're going to have here people that are leaders of churches, leaders of political parties, people of different persuasions. So you probably hear different language coming out. And you also see a structure. We've also put out a form on the new WhatsApp group that has been created. So if you go to Gambakwe Facebook page, there is a WhatsApp link there. If you go on that WhatsApp link, in the description of that WhatsApp link, there is a form. And that form allows you to register whether you want to participate, whether you eventually want to take up a leadership position, whether you want to be an MP, whether you want to be a councillor, whatever you want to express, when you want to attend the demonstration, the 17th, the 18th, or the 19th, all these things, we're trying to collect information so that we understand what people want to do. And the problem that we've had in the past is that things have not been communicated So this time is going to be very, very different. You're going to see a lot of communication taking place, and you see me every single day. So there is nothing that is going to happen without you understanding what's going on. That is why you see me here today, because the interim structure is being set up. And I want to go into what we mean, what I mean when I say there's an interim structure. So there's going to be the public WhatsApp group that you saw. That is the place where you can discuss and talk 24 hours a day. Then there is a steering committee or an organizing committee, which is currently working on the process that I just described, which is sending out the letters and carrying out some of the protests that are going to happen ahead of time. You're going to see all this coming out of the communication that is going to come out of the steering committee. Then there's going to be a group of leaders. So all the leaders, the political leaders that are there in Zimbabwe, you are welcome to WhatsApp me. We are going to add you to a group. So if you're a leader of a political party, a leader of a church, a leader of any significant organization in Zimbabwe, if you are such a leader, you're welcome to call, to WhatsApp me on that number, which is on the screen, and we'll eventually add you to a group of leaders. Everyone is going to be included. So there's going to be an advisory group of leaders who come from all the sections of Zimbabwe, because this demonstration is for all Zimbabweans. There is no Zimbabweans who want what is happening now. So if you WhatsApp me on that number and you lead an actual organization, you're going to be put into that group of leaders. So that will be a broad-based group of leaders. Then there is obviously going to be higher structures. And these structures, I'm not competent to speak about them. They're going to be set up, but you're going to see proper structures that are going to be set up that will provide leadership leading up to the period when there's going to be a demonstration. And as I said, there's not going to be a vacuum. If a demonstration is held and Mnangagwa indeed step down, there's not going to be a vacuum. People are going to be having readiness. So that's why I'm saying if you're interested in a position or you want to be an MP, you've got an ambition to become a councillor or anything, go into that form and fill it up so that we continue to understand where people want to go, what are the needs of the people. As you know, there's currently no political party right now that is acceptable. Nelson Chamisa has said before he quit the CCC that the CCC that is there is not that the CCC that he wants. That is a caretaker parliament. He said that it's a caretaker parliament. There's a caretaker government. So these positions are going to be open. And as you know, Chamisa said there's not going to be political parties. He's not focused on political parties. So it's very important for this, the outcome of these protests, to lead to something that is structured, something that is acceptable, something that includes everybody, something that comes out of a process. So that is what you're going to get. And if you've got leadership ambitions, go into the form and also communicate in the groups. Eventually, we're going to have our website coming up so that people can talk and can understand each other. So I think I've covered the structure, the lower structures, which is the public WhatsApp groups. Then we've got the steering committee, which is currently running as we speak. The steering committee is running everything behind the scenes. There's a lot of people in the steering committee. Then there's a group of leaders. So I said, if you're a leader of a church, a leader of a political party, and you want to be involved, WhatsApp that number and we'll set up a group. By tomorrow, that group will be up and we'll be able to have all the leaders of the groups in there, or leaders of the political parties and the churches. And we currently have leaders, serious leaders in the group who are going to be taking care. So you won't see me in those groups because I'm not the one who is leading the process. Then, as I said, we'll be having higher structures that will be guiding everything, including the people that are going to come out and explain what should happen going forward. So the advisory group will lead up to the higher structures that will assist everybody with understanding and direction. I now want to go to the issue of fundraising. So there is a very big problem that happens with many initiatives in Zimbabwe. So normally they're funded by one person or two people. So this is a massive undertaking. and there's a need for funding. So the people that are going to come tomorrow, the leaders of the groups, are going to come up with a plan for fundraising. There is a trip that is planned to SADC, and that is a protest trip. There's going to be a protest at SADC within the next 2 months. So there's going to be a protest at SADC at the head office, and Zimbabweans are going to go over there before the summit in Harare. So that needs to be funded, but I'm not going to give you the details here. The people who are going to come tomorrow, they will eventually give you the details. We need to make sure that SADC understands that they've issued a report that said the election in Zimbabwe was flawed. It did not meet the requirements of a free and fair election. So they cannot just make Mnangagwa the chairperson of SADC. So that process is going to start, and it's going to take a long time. So Zimbabweans are going to camp at SADC for a while, for some time. And that is the first protest that is going to take place. So that will get resolution. The president of Zimbabwe right now, Mnangagwa, cannot just ignore people and continue with the current situation, the deterioration. You've seen the currency going to zero. So the Zimbabwean currency has gone to zero, and they've put in place the ZIG. The ZIG is not available on the streets. They are lying that there is a ZIG, but there's no ZIG. Have you seen the 20? Have you seen the 50? Have you seen the 100? Have you seen the 200? So there's no ZIG, and the currency is collapsed. People are suffering. Right now, people are scrambling to get something to eat. The maize that is available in the country cannot last 3 months. So there's a disaster awaiting, and these are conditions that require a dialogue. So that is why Nelson Chamisa has called for a dialogue, and we support what Nelson Chamisa has said, that there must be consensus in the country and there must be negotiations. People must talk, and we must not have one person that consistently says they're not going to talk to anyone. And if Mnangagwa continues in this direction, there must be a demonstration. So I don't agree with what Chamisa said about peace. This period is not a period for peace. Between now and the end of August is not a period for peace. It's a period for pushing for change. So people need to push for change in our country. And I don't want to say it, keep saying a lot, because I'll keep saying, I'll end up saying my opinions here. And I want us to end there today. So the organizing committee is meeting tomorrow, and please go and fill up the form. So go and join the WhatsApp group, fill the form, state what you want to be done. If you're a leader of a political party, a leader of a church, get involved. This situation in Zimbabwe cannot solve itself. It needs you, and it needs your support. Please share this video. Let's make this message clear. Between the 17th of August and the 19th of August, there are going to be protests in Zimbabwe when the SADC leaders are in the country. So this is what it is. There's going to be protests against Mnangagwa's government. The objective is for Mnangagwa to step down and for fresh elections to take place. As we heard Nelson Chamisa saying, the past election was not valid. That election was not free and fair. SADC has already issued a statement on that election, but they are refusing to respond to Nelson Chamisa's letters. So let's make sure that SADC understands that Zimbabweans are not happy about what is happening in Zimbabwe. And so there are going to be those processes that are taking place between now and 17 August, when the actual protest takes place in Zimbabwe, and everyone is expected to participate in that protest. So I would like to thank you for watching. This is the update for today. We're going to be trying to give you an update every evening. It won't be me, but we'll try to build up the group so that eventually we have a much bigger group of people that talk on this protest, which is going to take place between 17 and 19 August. Thank you very much, everyone, and a good night. Kindly share,